Mhm. Tweet, 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 tweet. All right. Garuda Legends, what is up? You are first in the zone. Is MLB dead? No, MLB isn't dead. It's just that Firewall is so much fun. I mean, this is the game that I've been waiting for. Now, don't get me wrong. When when I first got a PS3 and first got exposed to MLB the Show, um, my anticipation for MLB the Show every year was always high. So, no, not without a doubt. MLB isn't dead. I'm just having a time of my life on Firewall. Nicholas Taylor, what is up? What is good? So give me a moment, people, to go through the official introductions. Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you. Let's all be one cohesive unit and hit the like button and help spread the content to a wider audience. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate that as well. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so, and almost don't know where to start. I mean, what can I say about Firewall? It is an amazing game, and there is definitely, you know, the VR market can definitely flourish from this game, and it's been proven. Not just, you know, in several ways. Simply Deep, what is going on? I mean, to start with my own channel, when I did my countdown to Firewall, you know, in the hours leading up to the release, that podcast has gotten over 500 views. When I did my very first Firewall live stream of the game itself, that got I think that got about 400 views. And for a channel that's got, you know, 330 subscribers, for a game stream to get 400 views is phenomenal. I mean, granted, the numbers have gone down now that the game is released, and, you know, and a little bit of the hype has died down, but you know, I'm still getting pretty good numbers in terms of game stream views. And not only that, every time I stream Firewall, I a new person usually comes into the chat. H player, what is up? A new person usually comes into the chat. They're usually new to the Firewall thing. They, you know, they ask me, what do I think of the game? And then, you know, before my stream is over, they'll tell me that, hey, I subscribe to your channel. Yeah, Garuda Legends, I'm at 331 subs last time I checked. And the thing about it, Garuda, ever since Firewall launched, I think I've gained about 25 subscribers since Firewall launched. So that proves that there is an interest in this game. And it proves that, you know, so if my channel, a small channel like mine, is gaining interest from Firewall, imagine the bigger channels this streaming Firewall. So there's definitely an interest in this game. I also want to warn everybody that this podcast is only going to be about a half hour long, because, you know, we got the roundtable podcast in about 15 minutes, and I already warned them that I was going to be a little bit late. So I just wanted to get this out, you know, real quick and let everybody know how I feel about Firewall. But yeah, I mean, just about every stream, someone, don't call me Danny, what is up? Just about every stream, somebody new comes into that stream. Arian Drake, what's up? They ask me about the game. Jamal Adams, what is going on? They ask me about the game. They ask me, what do I think about the game? And the one thing I do make sure I tell them that they need to get the aim controller, because without the aim controller, I feel it might be pointless to get the game if you don't have the aim controller. The aim controller is the most efficient, and it is the most immersive. So, in terms of other YouTubers, I've seen a few YouTube videos out there where people are saying that, you know, people are going out and buying PSVR solely for Firewall. I've experienced that on my own channel a couple of times. There were a couple of people during my streams that said they were going to go pick up Firewall and they were going to go pick up a PlayStation VR. And so, and so there's, like I said, there's other YouTubers saying those things too. You know, they've been saying that during their streams about how people are, you know, going to pick up the PSVR and Firewall. And I've seen it in other people's streams, how, experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing, how new people are coming into the streams. And then, you know, after watching Firewall for a few minutes, they're convinced that they're going to go ahead and get the game and the PlayStation VR itself if they don't have it. And so even today, earlier today, I did a stream Firewall for 5 hours. You know, and I did that with Sick Humor. So shout out to Sick Humor. Man, we had a ball. I mean, 5 hours. You know, Guy Cole, you said, all I know is today is a good day to be a gamer. But I have to tell you that I think mainly Sony and Nintendo has made it great to be a gamer these days. Link, I'll tell you the truth. If I don't win J-Dub's giveaway, I'm going to go buy one in 2 weeks. What is J-Dub giving away? Don't call me Danny. I mean, is he giving away the game or is he giving away a PSVR? I mean, so today during my stream, I heard one of the best stories, you know, for Firewall ever. There was a guy in there called P the Chef. Unlike Xbox, they're crying now after being exposed by Digital Foundry. You know, I was getting ready to, tie the Microsoft aspect into this Firewall too, because there is going to be a Microsoft aspect. You said YouTube gave you no alerts. Hey, make sure you double check the bell icon. Guy Code, you've been gaming for like 12 hours between Battlefield 5 beta and Destiny 2 Forsaken. I totally forgot about the Battlefield 5 beta. I mean, is it? I don't know if it's an open beta or what, you know. But yeah, don't call me Danny. The Roundtable podcast, as well as Sick Humor's podcast, I wasn't getting any alerts, and I went back to double check. It turned out that I did not hit the bell icon. He is giving away a PlayStation VR bundle, aim controller, a Nikon Revolution Pro controller, and a Firewall bundle. Hey, you better jump on that. J Dubs is a cool dude. He I didn't make it, but he gave me a chance early if you pre-ordered and open on the 6th. Okay, I'll check it out on the 6th. And don't call me Danny. You know, one time I was playing GT Sport with J Dub, and I was doing the Suzuka track, and I turned in a lap time of, I think, 2:06. Yeah, I turned in a lap time of 2:06. And he said, if you could turn in a lap time of 2:05, he said, I'll give you a Thrustmaster T300 racing wheel. And I got a T150. And I swear to God, you know, I started out good, but, you know, I tried too hard and wiped out and couldn't get it. But, you know, always give a shout out to J-Dub, because I definitely appreciate, you know, him presenting a challenge to me. And that's really cool of him to, you know, give away this PlayStation VR bundle, aim controller, you know, a Firewall bundle. So that's really cool of him. So whatever his giveaway is, make sure you jump on it, you know, whatever it is, you know, whether he's randomly picking somebody or whether you got to like or subscribe or whatever the case may be, whatever it is he requires you to do, make sure you jump on it, because if you don't have Firewall in that aim controller, you are missing out. I mean, anybody here who's talking about Battlefield, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, if you're talking about any of those games, you should want to play Firewall. So getting back to this story that happened during my stream today, this guy Peter Chef, He was telling me how both him and his roommate have a PSVR and an aim controller and Firewall. And so how that came about is he says that he brought the Firewall bundle home, and his friend was like, his roommate was like, "What's this?" Looks like I got some buffering here. I'm going to have to wait a second. Either that or I might have to okay, maybe that worked. I had to refresh the page. So hopefully that worked. Okay, so getting back to this guy about his story, as I was saying, he picked up the Firewall bundle, he brought it home, and his roommate was like, "What's this?" He was like, "Give it a shot." So I guess after 5 games, his friend jumped up and went and bought a PSVR and the Firewall bundle. And the crazy part about it is, he said his roommate had just dropped $3,000 for a PC, and he was about to get the HTC Vive headset, but after trying Firewall, he never bothered to get the Vive. He bought the PlayStation VR and was happy with it. And he said him and his roommate have been putting in hours on that game. They're like level 18s, whereas right now I'm a level 15. And he said they pretty much been playing the game around the clock. So those are the kind of stories that I like to hear, and those are the kind of stories that prove that the PlayStation, VR, between Firewall, Zone of the Enders, and Ace Combat, I'm sold. Don't Call Me Danny. You said you're waiting for yeah, I'm definitely waiting on Ace Combat, but oh my God, Don't Call Me Danny, man. You don't have any I don't know if you have any idea, man. I mean, right now, there's so many games in the PlayStation Store. It's almost like they got too many games and not enough people to play them. There is a ton of games in the PlayStation Store. When the PlayStation VR first launched, I think they already, might have started out with, they might have started out with about 40 or 50 games to begin with. If I had to guess right now, I'd have to say there's well over 150 games, maybe even 200 games at the PlayStation Store. And hold on to your hats, Don't Call Me Danny, because there's still a lot more shit coming down the pipeline. There's a sci-fi first-person shooter called Evasion coming out. Guy code, I would get Firewall, but don't have an aim controller. And between Red Dead Redemption 2, Life is Strange, Spider-Man, Battlefield 5, and then ACL money is tight. Oh, Assassin's Creed Origin. I get it. But if you already have a PSVR guide code, I would have to sacrifice one of those games in order to get that Firewall bundle. And out of the games that you just mentioned to me, I would probably say Assassin's Creed Origins might be the odd man out. That'd probably be the game that I won't get, because the aim controller, the Firewall bundle, is $80. You're going to pay $60 for that Assassin's Creed. So the way I'm seeing it, if you already have the PSVR, I would eliminate the Assassin's Creed Origin, go ahead and drop the extra $20. Don't call me Danny. I get sick when I play VR, but I officially stopped caring. Caring. I bought a Vive. I hate it. Don't call me Danny. I'm telling you, Firewall will not make you sick. Especially, and I'll be the first one to tell you, Riggs was one of the games that made me sick, and it still fucks with me right now. Oh, you said you hate Oculus. Okay. Riggs is one of the games that definitely makes me sick. Don't call me Danny. Drive Club made me sick the first time I played it, because that was my first time playing PlayStation VR. I had to build up a tolerance for that game. I'm not gonna lie. Other games, like Farpoint, the only thing that was making me sick about Farpoint were the quick turns. And then when I went into the settings and switched it over to smooth turns, that was it. Motion sickness eliminated. Same thing with Firewall. You have a choice between quick turns and smooth turns, and I opted for smooth turns. My earlier stream today, 5 hours. Don't call me Danny. There's no way I could have streamed for 5 hours if I would have, caught motion sickness, because, Riggs had me so fucked up I nearly threw up. But Firewall, shit, I quit playing when I get tired. Yeah, Guy Code, make sure you get the model with the HDR pass-through. But to tell you the truth, don't call me Danny. Unless he were to go somewhere and buy a refurbished headset, I think it's pretty much a given. Like, if he buys a brand new one, that's pretty much a given that he's going to get one with the HDR pass-through if he buys a brand new one. But if he goes to Dark Side, what is going on? If he were to go to like GameStop or something and buy a refurbished one, then yeah, he might have to watch it, But I have the day one PSVR. And yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the neck jumping up and switching these cords around and shit. But not so much that, you know what I mean? You said that you're pretty sure you have the newer version, but never seen a notification that the HDR is playing. Hey, I guess that's something I'll have to find out if and when I get the new version, because my son came over and tried the game. You bought the Skyrim VR bundle. I bought the Skyrim VR game, I think about 3 weeks ago. And it was okay, but unfortunately, Bethesda left a bad taste in my mouth. Trying to hold Sony hostage, threatening them that they better put a fucking game on let them do crossplay. They can, so Bethesda can eat a dick. Fuck them motherfuckers. If you want to ask Microsoft or Sony to do something, that's one thing, but that's another thing to try to strong arm them. Don't call me Danny. I believe we are going to do the round table tonight. So I plan to end the stream here in a few minutes. So let me double check. Yeah, Garuda Legends, Bethesda can definitely hold the L. So let me check our roundtable hangouts. Okay, I'm just double checking. Support Gaming, what is up? So I'm just double checking with the roundtable and checking in with Thrash right now to make double sure that we are going to do the roundtable podcast. Guy Code, you just need the Firewall bundle, and that's it. Hey, Guy Code, I'm not bullshitting. Ever since playing Firewall, it's never even entered my mind to play Battlefield. I don't like Call of Duty. Rainbow Six, none of those games. It's never entered my mind to play any of those games. So, but the game is getting a lot of good. What up, Lincoln? Good getting the levels up in Firewall. Oh yeah, I'm up to a level 15. I'm trying to get to a level 21 because I didn't realize how valuable that signal jammer is. We won a lot of games today just off of that signal jammer. I also live in a small room, so I don't have a whole lot of space when I do play. I mainly have to sit down. Guy Code, hey, Cali Rex, what is up? Guy Code, I'm in the same boat. You know, my apartment is really small. But hey, with the PlayStation VR, you only need, a a 6x6. Just a minute. I'm talking to Thrash real quick, just double checking. So I will let you fellas know here in a few minutes. You looking around Black Friday? Okay, all right. But hey, whenever you can get it is whenever you can get it, but make sure you get it. One other thing I wanted to say, before I end this stream here in a few minutes, that one of the real unfortunate situations about this firewall situation, the PlayStation 4 launched in November of 2013. And the PlayStation VR launched in October of 2016. So that's 3 years since the console launched before they came out with the VR. Now, if the VR, I think, would have launched in, say, 2014, and they would have had a game like Firewall ready to go back then, I dare say that the PlayStation VR might be sitting on, anywhere from 7 to 10 million units sold. So now what's really unfortunate about the PlayStation VR is that we're nearing the end of the generation, and they're just now putting a game out that is giving the PlayStation VR a face. They just now put a game out that's going to move some headsets off the shelf. This going to make people go out and buy the PlayStation VR. But the unfortunate part is that we're near the end of the generation. And there are people out there that are interested in VR, but know that because we're near the end of the generation, they are debating about whether to wait till next generation to get a VR. Yeah, I agree with you, Garuda, that they probably didn't have the manpower and the developer to make games that early for the VR. I agree 100%. Connor Voss Gaming, what is up? But I'm still being honest and just in saying that I think if they would have had it ready to go back then, we would be sitting on about 7 to 10 million headsets sold. And with Microsoft fucking up going a route that they're going, I think that Microsoft would have lost a few of their, install base. They would have lost a few gamers over to Firewall. You can't tell me that they aren't thinking about it right now. Okay, everybody, I did get word from King Thrash. He's on his way home now, so the Roundtable podcast will fire up here shortly. So, I will shut it down soon. Abdil Ashur, I'm going to get Firewall in November. Spider-Man Red Dead Redemption 2 is a must-have first. Okay, Abdil, I'm not going to argue that Spider-Man comes first. Iron Fist, what's up? But Abdil, I am going to argue with you that I think Firewall should come before Red Dead Redemption 2. Support gaming. You still think that PSVR still got a few more years before the next generation? See, I'm still smoking crack, but I'm still sticking by my belief that the PlayStation 5 is going to release in November of of 2019. I think at the latest, Robert McLeod, what is up? I think at the latest, the PlayStation 5 is probably going to release in, I'd say, maybe March of 2020. That is my belief. But if you want me to go out on a limb, I say November 2020 is the latest that it's going to release. And see, Garuda Legends, it says PSVR should work on the PlayStation 5. Now, here's the situation with that. Is Sony going to allow that? Because if they allow a lot of us people that already own the PSVR, if they allow that to be compatible with the PS5, some of us may feel that there's no reason to get the next iteration of the PlayStation VR. But myself, I'm going to get it day one. Especially with the rumored, power that the PS5 is going to have. One thing I do know for certain, that the next iteration of the PlayStation VR is going to be more powerful than it's going to be better than anything that's out there on the market. So the current Oculus and the current don't call me Danny. Okay, for sure. Good looking out. The current Oculus and current Vive, the new PSVR for the PlayStation 5 is going to be more powerful than that. And I'm even hearing that this shit's going to be in 4K. So right now, in terms of visuals, some games are slightly blurry, the backgrounds, up front, you see shit up front. Everything is razor sharp on the PlayStation VR. Depending on what game you're playing, some things might be a little bit blurry in the background, but it's still good. It's still good enough, and Firewall is definitely good enough. Garuda, you said Sony might make a new VR, but let you use the old one on the PS5 if that works out. See, to me, it's all a matter of whether Sony wants you to upgrade to the new PlayStation VR. I mean, that's a catchy one right there, because if they allow the current PSVR to be compatible on the PS5, it's going to stifle sales of their new headset. And that's a catchy one right there. And that's a situation where almost I have to kind of be neutral on that one, because I would like everybody that currently owns a PlayStation VR to be able to play their games on the PS5 and to be compatible with the PS5. But at the same time, I would like to see the new iteration of the PSVR flourish. I would like to see the new headset sell. You know what I mean? So, but hey, I guess this is only thing I can say is Digital Foundry making Xbox cry. Robert McLeod, I think that if this Spider-Man situation hadn't come up, I think Firewall would have had the Xbox crying. Because I think they would have been looking back at Phil Spencer saying, where's our VR? The VR that you promised, during E3. It's not going to happen. And that's the other thing that I didn't get a chance to say, Robert McLeod and the rest of the chat, is that Sony took a chance on VR. That was the first chance they took. It was a market. Andrew Wilkins, what is up? It is a market that I think that if it were not for Sony, the VR market might have died. Oculus and Vive are very expensive headsets. And you have, and you got to drop some serious coin on a computer to be able to push those. Sony has given everybody an affordable alternative. And now they've got a game in there with Firewall that it's not a case of this game being a cheap alternative. It is a must-have. Support gaming, Xbox, cry be a puddle. Abdul, PS5 going to come a year after the PS5. Hey, I'm cool with that. Robert McLeod, I can tell you where Xbox VR is. It does not exist, and Microsoft canceled it. Yeah, exactly. See, there's been a number of rumors as to why they didn't do it. Now the biggest rumor that I hear is that the Xbox One S and the original Xbox One can't push VR, and that's why they scrapped it. But I don't know why Phil Spencer got up there and lied. If that's the case, then Phil Spencer knew when he got up on that fucking stage and promised high fidelity VR, he knew that they wasn't going to do this shit. If he knew that the Xbox One S and the Xbox One couldn't do it, especially with them claiming that nobody gets left behind. With that being said, for the next generation, will the Streambox, this Scarlet Streambox, will it be capable of VR? I mean, I'm beginning to think that a lot of people think that the shit ain't going to work because of a lot of people's internet connection. So if that's the case, it might be even worse for VR if they try it on VR. I think their traditional console, the new Scarlet, whatever it is, the traditional console, that's definitely going to have enough power to push VR. But where does that leave the Streambox? I mean, are they going to stick to their word that nobody gets left behind? So if that's the case, then VR won't be on the next generation. And Microsoft always lies, and the Xbox definitely don't have any games. So now with Microsoft, how this ties in to Firewall, Microsoft don't take any chances. That's why you keep seeing Gears, Halo, and Forza all over again. They won't take any chances on any new IPs unless the new IP only cost them $3 to make it. That's why they took a chance on Sea of Thieves, and that's why they redid, that's why they did State of Decay 2. Those games is garbage, and it only took a few bucks for those games to be developed. I said it before, and I'll say it again. State of Decay is a game that should be free to play on a fucking wristwatch. State of Decay is the type of game where you ought to be able to find the code on the bottom of a box of Captain Crunch. It only cost them $3 to make that game. That's why they took a chance on it. And that's what Sony was talking about when they said this is a marathon. Every one of these games that Sony makes, in my opinion, they not trying to get 800 million off of this game or find a way to make this game last 96 years so they can still, collect money off of this shit long after all of us is dead and gone. Sony sees a big picture. What Sony is trying to do is make their library so big that it makes the PlayStation a more appealing option. Microsoft, they trying to make, Microsoft trying to get overnight money. They trying to get drug money. Every time they come out with something, even if it's Gears 98, they expect the shit to do overnight numbers. They expect the shit to do drug money that's, money that they can make in 5 minutes. And that's why Sony said this is a marathon. Look how many damn exclusives they got. When you think of Sony, you may not think of one particular exclusives. What you do know is that they have a whole bunch of games. And this PlayStation ecosystem gives you a few options. You have all the exclusives, and they still have the Vita, even though they pretty much shut it down. It's still there. There's still a ton of games out there for the Vita. Dennis Keltis, I'm sorry. You like how I say everything right? Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And now VR is another option in the PlayStation ecosystem. What do you have over on the Xbox side? You pretty much have third-party games that only look 0.1% better than the games that you would see on a PlayStation Pro. That's third-party shit. But third-party games do not look as good as those PlayStation exclusives. Garuda Legend, Sony be like, I got your gaming needs, console exclusives, handheld, and VR. Buy my shit and open your wallet. Hey, Microsoft wants you to open your wallet too, but Sony's giving you more bang for your buck, Garuda. Cold hard fact. You know, and, Firewall's the icing on the cake. So right now, with the success of Firewall, I bet you Microsoft, EA, Activision, and Ubisoft is all kicking themselves in the ass that they didn't take a chance on VR. Mm-hmm. You know, you got it right, Robert McLeod. Over and over again, Phil Spencer keeps jumping up on a stage or in front of a mic talking about we buying studios. So fucking what? People have said it over and over again. That's like congratulating McDonald's for buying ground beef. It's your fucking job. Abdil, what you're saying is not too far fetched. You would say Microsoft is trying to fall back like Nintendo. They're going to start marketing to kids and old folks. Definitely kids. People like me is why Microsoft is still making money off of these ridiculous ass microtransactions like Gears of War. I keep giving in. My son keeps asking me for microtransactions, and I keep giving in and telling him, yeah. And I don't really mind paying for the microtransactions, but the microtransactions on Gears of War is one of the worst because that shit is straight slot machine. You buy these fucking packs and you don't know what you're getting. Now, if you go off and buy the elite packs, I think which costs $10 and $20, then they'll guarantee you that you will get a character, but they won't say which one. All it is that they guaranteeing that you're getting a character. I've bought so many fucking elite packs because my son was looking for Gary Carmine or Benjamin Carmine, and he bought the shit and ended up getting, Color Blast Kate or some bullshit like that. And it's gotten to a point like I finally had to put my foot down about these fucking microtransactions with my son because he wants Super Smash Brothers, for the Switch. And I told him that if you want Super Smash Brothers from the Switch, you're going to this is it. We're going to put the brakes on these microtransactions right now because you're not going to get both. You make your mind up. Do you want Super Smash Brothers or do you want these microtransactions? I mean, you said it's like saying McDonald's has a bigger burger than Burger King, but it's not true. I mean, true. And they running their mouth about, and that's like McDonald's running their mouth about, what their ingredients are. Give a fuck about the ingredients. Put some product out there. I get what you're saying about, I don't really buy microtransactions either. It depends on the situation. Like the microtransactions in GT Sport, some people got upset about it. I didn't have a problem with it because you knew what you were getting. It wasn't loot box type shit. And the microtransactions, most of them were only 99 cents. Most of those cars on there were 99 cents. I bought that Formula One car for GT Sport. It was $3. They're still adding cars and they're still adding tracks free of charge. So I don't mind giving them a couple of bucks, for a couple of cars. So it depends on the situation. Same thing with Firewall. It does have microtransactions in it, but they're all cosmetic. Not only that, I think being that I pre-ordered the game, I had already got some cosmetic shit as a bonus. I think Guy Code, a lot of these developers, I think they're not going to add multiplayer to like the maps to DLC. Like, because I think EA found that out that you separate the user base when you add DLC. When you put maps in DLC, you separate the user base. Those who pay for the DLC will be on those maps, and those who didn't won't. So you're going to see a serious drop off and how many people are playing on those new maps. So I think oh, Samuel, you lost over 100 cars when your system crashed. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. If they were cars that that you bought with in-game purchases. I hate to say it, you can get them back, even though it might take forever. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. Support gaming. You said Microsoft can buy 100 studios if they ain't got any talented developers, pretty much. Spartan God, you said Xbox has had a very bad day. Yeah, and I haven't even gotten into that because I really didn't. Samuel, you said you had to grind to get most of those cars back. Okay, that's cool. And Spartan God, I didn't even plan to get into that Spider-Man shit, because to use the words of one stop for gamers, Digital Foundry left a booty bleeding, about the Spider-Man upgrade. But I will say this real quick about the Spider-Man situation and leave it at this. I'm not going to get too deep into this shit because this shit has been going on for weeks and it is fucking ridiculous that a fucking council war is still carrying on over some fucking puddles. This is insane. But I will say this. I don't get, did Kofi issue an apology? I don't know. I think the biggest reason why the Xbots were hoping that Spider-Man was downgraded is so they can say that the PS4 Pro does not have near the amount of power as the Xbox One X. This shit leaves them butthurt that all the PlayStation exclusives look better than anything they have over there, and it's a weaker system. That shit is leaving them butthurt. Now, obviously, because of the hype, Spider-Man is Sony's most anticipated exclusive of 2018. And the Xbox were praying that shit was downgraded so they can say that the PlayStation Pro is not that powerful. I don't think it had anything to do, with the game itself. I think they just wanted to be able to say that the PlayStation Pro is not powerful enough. And I think they wanted to be able to say that if this game was on the Xbox One X, you would be getting exactly what you saw with those CGI trailers. That's what they want to be able to say. That is my belief. So, I mean, it never fails with these motherfuckers, man. That's why I said with these Xbots, these X-Thots, it's like dealing with a fucking cult. It's like you don't believe in their way of life. They want you dead. I also describe the Xbots as that dude that you got in a fight with on the playground. Uncompetitive. It was definitely great playing with you today. I had a good time. Too bad you didn't stick around because like we put together a little bit of a win streak. Dealing with an Xbot, I've said it before. It's like fighting that dude on the playground. You keep whooping the dude ass and you keep putting him on his back. And the dude keeps saying, "Let me up. Let's start over." At some point, you're gonna say, "Why are we still fighting? I keep kicking your ass over and over again. I don't want to hurt you. Why don't you just turn around and go home and cut this shit out?" But they keep wanting to get up and keep wanting to fight, even though you keep kicking their ass over and over again. These dudes never stop. No matter what the fuck comes out on the PlayStation end, they got something to say about it to try to knock the shit down. And they not saying shit about the fucking problems they have over there. I mean, they got serious exclusive problems over there. They ain't got no fucking games, but they still got, Phil Spencer jumping up on stages talking about, we buying studios. Y'all ain't gonna see that shit for 3, 4, 5 years. And I think what's ultimately going to happen when Scarlet launches, I don't think they're going to have any new exclusives for that game, for that console. They're going to end up porting, Gears, and whatever else, whatever the latest iterations of Gears, Forza, and Halo is out, they're going to end up porting them over to Scarlet and give them, the Scarlet enhancement. And then that's going to be it. You're not going to see any more shit from them for another 2, 3, 4 years after that. I said that before. It sounded crazy when I said it, when I described it before. That 3 years ago, Sony planned to cook a giant Thanksgiving dinner with all the shit on the table that you can imagine. Turkey, dressing, biscuits, and all the desserts is there. All the desserts that you can imagine. They announced that they was going to cook, a Thanksgiving dinner, but this Thanksgiving dinner was going to take 3 years to cook. Here comes Phil Spencer saying, you don't want that shit. You don't want that bullshit they cooking over there. Single players is dying. You don't want that single player food they cooking over there. Here, eat this State of Decay burrito for 99 cents that's going to tear your fucking stomach up and having you throwing up all over the fucking place. Now here it is 3 years later. All the Sony people is enjoying these Thanksgiving dinners, these exclusives. And now the Xbox is looking in the window looking stupid. But you still got Phil Spencer telling you that food is bad for you. Here, eat the Super Lucky's trash. Here, eat the Super Lucky's trash pot pie. Here, eat that shit. They cost 39 cents. It's ridiculous. I said it before. I said it before, when Sony made that announcement that they was going to cook that Thanksgiving Day dinner, the Xbox should have been looking back at Phil Spencer and said, hey, Sony getting ready to cook some shit up. Shouldn't you be cooking too? But no, they let Microsoft brainwash them into believing you don't want that food that Sony's cooking because it's going to take too long to cook and it's not good for you. Single players are not good for you. Here, take this Super Lucky's garbage. Take this Super Lucky's garbage. Take this State of Decay burrito and an energy drink and call it good. That's what the fuck they've been doing to these motherfuckers. Now they over there on their hands and knees throwing up all that fucking bullshit that Microsoft been feeding them. And they look at how, they looking at all the Sony people rubbing their bellies because they just had a delicious dinner. And now dessert is coming up with Spider-Man. And that's why they losing their fucking minds right now. So, I didn't mean to get into this shit. This was supposed to be about Firewall. Okay, everybody. I just got my link from King Thrash for the Roundtable podcast. So I'm going to get ready to shut this down here in a couple of minutes and move on over to the Roundtable podcast. But I definitely want to thank everybody, for tuning in, knowing that the Roundtable podcast is about to jump off here in a few minutes. I definitely want to. Spartan God, Firewall sucks. Spartan God, man, I ought to ban you from my channel saying some shit like that. But I love you, so you can stick around, man. Don't ever say some wild shit like that again about Firewall. What the hell are you talking about, man? No, I'm just fucking with you, Spartan. I'm fucking with you, Spartan guy. You my dude, man. You all right? Hey, but for real, I'm getting ready to move on over to the Roundtable podcast, and I just want to say it again. I can't stress enough how fun Firewall is. I can't stress enough that exactly, Spartan God, and I'm imploring everybody that if you're thinking about getting the PlayStation VR, Firewall is the game that's giving you a reason to go out and buy it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Exactly, support gaming. Firewall is life. No doubt about that. So I'll see everybody in a few minutes over on the Roundtable podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for giving it some likes. I appreciate everybody hanging around. And this is your boy Lincoln Clay. I'll see you over at the Roundtable podcast in a couple of minutes, and I'm out.